How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. A bunch of current players today over the age of 30 already guaranteed Hall of Fame locks. Greats like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Chris Paul all clear-cut 100% according to Basketball Reference, while superstars like Steph Curry, James Harden, and Russ Westbrook will need a little bit more work to reach the full 100 mark. There's been plenty of active players who would have been Hall of Famers if their careers ended 7 years ago, without a doubt. But today, we'll take a look at 10 current players who will be guaranteed future Hall of Famers that many fans still have mixed emotions about. They might not have the highest probability rates as of now, but will inch closer as future seasons progress. Let's get started. Number 10, Rudy Gobert. The three-time Defensive Player of the Year winner, age 29, can stand as the only three players all-time to win 4 DPOY awards, joining Ben Wallace and Dikembe Mutombo. That's if Rudy wins one more. Despite not being able to guard the 3-ball in the 2021 playoffs and a liability at stretches, Gobert's regular season dominance in the paint, leading Utah to one of the top defenses the last 4 years, can't be understated. The indications throughout his career shows Gobert's been pretty healthy. No super big injuries yet, already has 4 All-NBA teams, 5 defensive teams. Ben Wallace a way better defensive presence than Gobert, but Big Ben only 6 all-defensive teams and didn't win the award till he was 27. Mutombo, on the other hand, didn't win his first DPOY award till 28 after the departure of Gordon Hayward. Gobert's Jazz 48 wins, 50 wins, a decent 44-28 record, followed by 52-20, the second best player with the best regular season record. At this rate, Rudy will likely finish his career with around 10 all-defensive team selections, perhaps a few more all-star appearances as a borderline reserve. His Jazz on paper is not true contenders like the Lakers, Bucks, or Nets, but if Utah dominates the regular season again, he'll have a stronger case. Of all the retired players to win DPOY awards more than once, only Mark Eaton didn't make the Hall. Big Mark also limited offensively. One thing is certain, between 2018 to the mid parts of the 2010s era, the word defense will be mostly resembled with Rudy Gobert. Just 2 more seasons of consistent Gobert, his Hall of Fame case will get stronger, will eventually get in, although he might have to wait just as long as Ben Wallace after retirement. Number 9, Draymond Green. Just under a 35% chance given the amount of winning over his career. The 6'6" power forward proven to be a vital third option in one of the best offensive teams the league has ever assembled. A 3-time All-Star, already 3-time champ, can guard 1-5, high IQ, 2 All-NBA teams. Golden State simply doesn't become a dynasty without the emergence of Draymond. By his 3rd season, became a borderline All-Star, had the most first-place defensive player voting on a 67-win team, but edged out by Kawhi Leonard. Green also finished behind Kawhi for the 2016 DPOY award. Underrated passer, Green actually leads Golden State in assists from 2016 onwards. Draymond might be one of the most disliked players, gets called nicknamed triple singles, but the impact on the game given his lack of scoring combined with the intelligence, the only player to have a stat line 500 assists, 500 boards, 150 blocks, and 100 steals in a single season, and falling short of a quadruple-double because of the lack of points scored. Green's production might have fallen after KD joined Golden State, but the way Draymond can dominate a game without scoring, especially in the 3 playoff series against Portland, and being the only Warrior to show up in Game 7 of the 2016 Finals. Had Golden State won that series, Draymond would have had a strong case for Finals MVP. Number 8, Jimmy Butler, former 30th pick, had one of the most remarkable journeys the league has ever seen, still going strong at 32 today, became known as just an energy role guy with good defense that lacked scoring, to becoming one of the best two-way players in his prime, from having a rookie year averaging just 2.6 points to becoming an all-star by year 4. 2015 clearly became Butler's team for the Bulls. 5 all-stars and counting, will likely have a few more good seasons before going on the decline. 5 all-defensive teams, also one of the most underrated players, given Butler never made an all-defensive first team. Seeing how he was the reason the Wolves became relevant in 2018, helped the franchise make the playoffs for the first time in 14 years, to stinking badly without him, to Philly losing to a last-second bucket that arguably decided the 2019 championship, and making the unpopular choice from leaving Embiid and Simmons, 2 young promising duels. The process hasn't been the same since Butler's departure. to joining Miami, considered a borderline average team with no real stars, to leading the 5th seeded Heat all the way to the finals. Nobody in their wildest imaginations could have thought a Jimmy Butler-led team can carry his squad that far, from outplaying 2-time MVP Giannis in the semis to taking the way more talented Lakers to 6 games, single-handedly won those 2 games. Unexpected wins with a banged-up roster. Even if Butler never wins a title, his remarkable success in the 2020 bubble, the highlight of his career, a lot more impressive than other stars winning a championship as a third option. There's not many more amazing basketball stories told than Jimmy Buckets, given his adversity and how he started. No doubt Butler will be a future Hall of Famer, although some still will disagree. Number 7, LaMarcus Aldridge, who will get in perhaps a couple years after being eligible. The 7-time All-Star made all those selections in the tougher West, one of the most consistent stars the 2010s decade, a reliable mid-range shot from 2011 to 2019, LA averaged over 21 points on 49% shooting, career postseason numbers of nearly 21 a game. Given he's making his return to the Nets after a brief retirement, if LA can stay fully healthy the next couple games, just 49 points away from reaching 20,000 points. Only Tom Chambers and Antoine Jamison, who are eligible for the Hall with over 20k points, not in the Hall of Fame. LA also made 5 All-NBA teams. His peak years in 2014 and 15 put up over 23 a game and absolutely destroyed Dwight Howard the 2014 postseason. At that time, the Blazers were still seen as Aldridge's team and not Lillard's yet, although LA didn't win a title with San Antonio, proved to be a stellar second option on a 67 and 61 win squad, the only player alongside LeBron to score at least 1,000 points each season from 2008 to 2020. Given his longevity, being a reliable bucket getter for a strong 13-year stretch, LaMarcus Aldridge will certainly end up in the Hall. Number 6, Blake Griffin. B-Ball Reference might list him a 55% chance, and injuries robbed him of even more productive years. Griffin came into the league with all-time great potential, an all-star each of his first 5 seasons, still arguably the best rookie season amongst active players today. Griffin, his first 2 years, way more hype than Zion's first 2 NBA seasons with New Orleans, not even close. Blake made Lob City possible, athleticism second to none in his prime. The 6-time All-Star made 5 All-NBA teams, considered one of the best power forwards in the mid-2010s alongside Aldridge. Blake even finished 3rd for MVP voting in 2014 behind LeBron and Durant, talked about as a top 5 player at his peak. After 2014, Blake was still considered the best player in his class until Curry and Harden truly emerged. Untimely injuries slowed him down. Winning with the Clippers wasn't meant to be. Rejuvenated a little bit with Detroit in 2019, proved to be way more than just a high flyer, underrated passer, improved on his outside shooting where he had none coming into the league, and did all the dirty work, made all the hustle plays for Brooklyn in 2021. Griffin's career accomplishments very similar to Chris Webber, who never won a ring, and C-Web got in the Hall. There's no doubt in my mind Blake Griffin's name will belong in the Hall of Fame sometime around 2030. If all things goes well for 2022, Blake on his way to his first title. Number 5, Rajon Rondo. B-Ball Reference gives him over a 60% chance. The way he performed with the 2020 Lakers, a key factor that postseason. Playoff Rondo will always be a thing that resonates his career. 4-time All-Stars, also one of the best passers in his prime. 3-time assist champ, a steals leader, 4 defensive teams, high IQ, was on verge to becoming one of the elite point guards in the 2010s until the ACL injury. After leaving Boston, struggled to find a home, bounced around Dallas and Sacramento nightmare seasons, but very relevant for the Bulls and Pelicans, especially the 2018 first round sweeping Portland. Rondo was on the Hall of Fame fence, but made an even stronger case after winning a ring with 2 of the most historic franchises in all of basketball. The 2-time champ will easily end up in the Hall now. Number 4, Kevin Love, who had 4 winning seasons, all due to playing with LeBron. If Love didn't put up the big numbers with Minnesota or made any All-Star teams before Cleveland, probably wouldn't get in the Hall, but being a 5-time All-Star, 2 All-NBA teams, and a double-double machine his early days, Love was considered one of the very best rebounders between 2011 to 2014, then lost weight coming to Cleveland and had to change his game, being more of a spot-up shooter, made second team in 2012 and 2014, went from averaging 26 a game last season with the Wolves to just 16 the year after as a third option, but adapted well, and being part of the 3-1 finals comeback to defending
defending and stopping the best shooter the game has ever seen the final minute of Game 7 made Love a valuable piece to secure the 2016 comeback. Although oftentimes banged up, Love has had many disappointing moments, was actually better in the 2017 playoffs than his previous 2 seasons with LeBron, became a 19-11 guy to putting up around 17-10 that postseason. Love's Hall of Fame probability shockingly way higher than Blake's and LaMarcus's. Those guys were a little better in their primes. It's an absolute travesty. Love also currently has a higher Hall of Fame probability rate than Giannis. If Griffin and Aldridge were third options in their late 20s, they could have easily won a ring as well. One would assume Love would have had a 50% rate, but over 70%, he'll certainly get in. Number 3, Kyle Lowry. The prime example of this decade's version of a 2000s Chauncey Billups. Lowry doesn't have the best stats, not the highest efficiency, but a true leader and makes all the winning plays, very tough on D, draws charges, a master at selling calls, which changes momentum of games. The 6-time All-Star didn't have an early start, made his first All-Star team at age 28 in 2015, 7 straight postseasons, a vital part of that 2019 title team. Even after Kawhi left, Lowry made a similar type impact to a Chris Paul OKC version, still averaged over 19 a game at 33, despite making just one All-NBA team. Given the amount of loaded point guards in today's game, to having good longevity, still earned Lowry a $90 million deal at age 35 just goes to show his value and how highly teams still believe in his production. Counted out many times during the DeMar DeRozan days, Lowry more than proved himself for continuous winning plays. Might not end up as a first ballot Hall of Famer, might have to wait a couple years till he's eligible after retirement, but will certainly get in given how his career played out. Number 2, Carmelo Anthony. Still many critics and doubters, one of the most scrutinized players, especially between 2014 to 2019. Melo's career could have very well been over after 2019, but gladly accepted his job as a role player for Portland to still averaging double figures between 13 to 16 a game, and adapted, wiped away many of the negative labels said about him. Every player to make 10 All-Star teams end up making the Hall. His scoring will always be one of the purest. 6 All-NBA teams, a former scoring champ, even finished 3rd for MVP in his prime, never made first team because of LeBron and Durant also playing the forward spot, having over a 98% rate, and given how many Hall of Famers also known for their offense and scoring and not their defense, having half the amount of All-Stars Melo have, Melo will certainly get in the Hall sometime likely before the end of the 2020s decade. The only question is, who will join his Hall of Fame class? Number 1, Dwight Howard. His basketball resume and accomplishments at age 26 already made him a Hall of Famer no matter how the rest of his career played out. At this point, the only way Dwight Howard won't make the Basketball Hall of Fame is if he commits a serious crime outside of basketball. Many social media accounts post, "Is Dwight Howard a Hall of Famer?" As much as he's disliked by many for his antics, anybody who don't think Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer clearly didn't watch closely during the late 2000s and early 2010s. Howard had a 5-year stretch as the clear-cut best big man in the game, led his Magic team to 59 wins to the finals at age 23, absolutely elite defensively, 3 straight DPOY awards, 5 rebounding titles. Howard single-handedly turned those Magic teams into one of the best defenses by himself. 5 All-NBA first teams wasn't even debatable. Howard also finished top 5 in MVP voting 4 times and had a strong case to win it 2011. Prime Magic Dwight Howard on defense would have almost been unanimous Defensive Player of the Year in today's game. His attitude in switching teams during his 30s became so disturbing that many forget about his early accomplishments, from being able to help the 2020 Lakers win a title. Just adds a little extra on his resume. If D12 retired as early as 2012, he would have been a Hall of Famer by now. Just don't fall for those stupid headlines and unnecessary outside noise that questions his Hall of Fame status.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Which one of these guys do you think are not future Hall of Famers? And let me know your reasons why. Before some of you write in the comments, "Oh, what about John Wall, Derrick Rose, Andre Iguodala, DeMar DeRozan?" Some of them might very well get in, but they're not guaranteed future Hall of Fame locks by any means, like all the guys listed here. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I love all of you. See you next time.